Hello everyone, welcome to what is going to be quite a different and quite an interesting video. So as you can glean by the title, in this video I'm going to... Was that a bad omen? In this video I'm going to be testing my fertility. 2024 is going to be an important year for me and G as a couple because I am 35 and he is coming up to 44. We talk about the decision of whether or not we want children quite a lot, and this year is the year we decide whether or not we want a baby. But obviously, being our ages, we are concerned about whether or not that is even an option for us. Not only worry about being kind of old parents, which we would be because we met late in life. I met G when I was 30. So before we kind of decide either way whether we want children or we don't want children, we wanted to really take control of our health and check to see if it was even a possibility and an option for us. This video feels very vulnerable to me, for me to be filming. I kind of feel like this is something that couples keep to themselves and don't share with the whole wide world. But I kind of also want to find a community of women who feel the same way as me and are having this big decision to make and you're not sure. But either way, I hope this video is helpful to some of you guys, and it is just an interesting topic anyway. Like, on this channel I have documented so much TMI stuff, like my Roaccutane acne journey. I've vlogged and documented my whole colonoscopy, which was probably a little bit too TMI, my bloating issue. Definitely overshare on the internet a little bit too much, but also only in the hope that it will help some of you guys. So we've like really geekily laid out a plan for the year. Q1, get our fertility tested, see if this is even an option for us. Q2, get our results and kind of potentially make a decision based on our results whether we do want children or whether we don't want children. Q3, sit with the decision that we've made for 3 months and see how it makes us feel. I feel like this is really important for us, this Q3 part, because I want time to be able to sit with a decision either way, like see if I've made the right decision, basically, if that makes sense. Either we decide we don't want children and we sit with that. I want time to be able to work out then if that decision still feels right for me 3 months later, like if I am truly happy with that decision. And then Q4 is to implement, either start trying for a baby or settle into our child-free life. So that is our outline for the year. And so for step 1 of getting our fertility tested, I've chosen a website called Hertility, which I've seen a lot on Instagram. And I've chosen Hertility for a couple of reasons. One, the cost is very, compared to like private clinics, is way more affordable, and I think accessible as well for a lot of people who don't have endless money or might be saving up for a baby. The reviews are really good. It will test me for loads of different stuff, including hormones. And so I have been documenting this whole journey of getting my fertility tested and my hormones tested with Hertility. I hope you enjoy this vlog, from the assessment right to the blood test to the results. I've kind of documented it all, and I really hope this video helps you. Okay, sat at my desk and I'm about to order the at-home hormone and fertility test from Hertility. This is the first step in the process of getting my fertility checked out, and I need to start an assessment, and I thought it would be interesting to document this whole entire journey from start to finish, starting with the assessment. So why am I nervous? Why am I nervous about doing this? Let me get my tripod out so you can see my screen. I'm gonna go on start assessment, and they need to personalise the test for me because everyone's hormones are different. There's no one size that fits all. So this will tailor the test and personalise it to me. Questions about sensitive topics, medical diagnostics tools. What brings you here? I'm actively trying to conceive. I'm experiencing symptoms. I'm planning for babies in the future. I'm curious. I think I'm going through premenopause. I am premenopausal. I'm menopausal. I want to say I am just curious, which I guess is kind of true. Tell us more about you. Okay, I'm going to fill in my personal details. Okay, so it's asking if I've ever been diagnosed with any of the following reproductive health conditions. I have been told I have polycystic ovaries on a scan, but no PCOS diagnosis, which is true. It's a bit weird actually. I was told when I had a scan once that I did have polycystic ovaries, but then I had another scan a few years later and they said that there weren't any, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. I'm going to say that I've had them on a scan but no diagnosis. Do you experience any of the following symptoms? Acne, yes. Excessive facial hair, I guess so. I'm going to have to tick a lot yes to a lot of these. Sorry for the super close up. Now that I've answered all those questions about my potential hormone imbalances, I now need to answer some questions about my period. Luckily, I track my period on my phone. I use an app called Clue, which I don't pay for. I have the free version, even though it tries to make me pay for it every single time I log into the app, but it is very good at allowing me to track my period and when I am due. So when did my most recent period start? I can tell you the exact date because I tracked it. So it's asking me about like my average period length and how heavy it is, and now it's asking me about whether I've ever been pregnant before, what medication do I take, have I ever been diagnosed with any of the following conditions. It's basically just like a proper in-depth medical questionnaire. Have I ever had any of the following surgery? And these are all like surgeries to do with your womb, so like ovarian cyst removed, fibroid removed. I have had cervical tissue or abnormal cells removed with a LETS treatment, yep, but that's about it. This is interesting. Have you ever had any of the following non-surgical cosmetic procedures? And one of them is Botox. This is really interesting. Have I ever had an STI? And then I need to enter some details about my lifestyle, so like starting off with height and weight. Okay, so now it has like put together everything they're going to test. This is how much it costs, by the way, £149, which compared to getting it tested in like a proper clinic would be a lot of money, so I'm quite happy about that. And then they've created a blood collection kit just for me, and it's going to test between 3 and 10 hormones to get the answers I'm looking for, and it's going to be delivered within 3 to 5 days. And then it gives you a list of all the things that they're going to check me for, and this is quite a big list. Yeah, almost all of them I think they're going to be testing me for, and that is probably because some of my symptoms are a bit odd, like acne. I've always had acne problems, I've always had headaches, I've always been quite a tired person, and my periods are sometimes very painful. So this is actually gonna tell me so much. Like, I've always wondered whether I've had a hormone imbalance, and this might actually give me some answers in that respect. Like, I was just doing this to find out what my chances of getting pregnant were, but in actual fact this is going to be way more helpful. There's some interesting things that they're checking me for here. This is particularly interesting. They're going to be checking for this, which helps make estrogen and testosterone. Test these to investigate causes of symptoms such as acne and irregular periods. So I'm very excited about it. They're going to test my testosterone as well, which is very interesting because that could also be a cause of acne and PCOS. My blood, you can get a nurse home visit if you struggle with getting blood yourself. Send your sample to the lab, get a written report, receive personal advice. I'm also, I think, to book an extra consultation with a fertility doctor who can talk me through all my results as well. I think that might be an added on cost. I'm just going to have a look now. Here we go. I'm going to add on this as well. £39 for a hormone and fertility advisor consultation, so they can help talk me through all my results. I don't know if you can hear this, but my stomach is popping off. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. I obviously need to go get some food. So yeah, I'm going to check out now, and then I will see you in a few days when my test arrives. Today is the day I've been waiting for. It is day 3 of my period, which means I can finally do my Hertility test. My test came super quickly. I think it arrived like the next day or the day after, and I'll show you what it looks like. It looks like this. Also, you'll have to excuse me, I've just woken up. It's a Sunday. I'm like in my super chilled mode. I'm about to do some exercise and then wash my hair, so it's like pamper day, which is why I look a little bit like a scruff bag. But I think you need to do this test first thing on day 3 of your period, which is today for me. Inside you have a couple of little leaflety things, the checklist that you need to do. So I need to test it on the correct day. It says test any day if you're on hormonal contraception, have irregular periods more than 2 months apart, or have no periods at all, or test on day 3 of your cycle if you have regular periods or irregular periods less than 2 months apart. Fill your sample to the top line, complete and attach your tube labels, and then post your sample on the same day. So I'll have to pop out later a step-by-step guide of taking the blood sample at home, and that is a lot of info. Luckily I recently just had to do a blood test. I'm not worried about this. Absolutely fine for me to fill up to. And then yeah, you've got your little sample, you've got a little hole there that you can sit your sample up in, some lancets, the thing to send it back in, and a little post bag as well. So I guess we should just do it. Like, I want to get this done and dusted. I'm just getting so excited about learning more about my hormones now, because I don't know if I mentioned this, but I struggle with such bad acne, and it'd be so great to work out if it has been a hormone imbalance that has been triggering that, especially like around that time of the month. I don't know if you can see. My chin just really breaks out in spots. So first step was to drink some water, so I've done that. And then it's to move my arm around to get the blood pumping. I don't know if that's in the instructions, but that's what I normally tend to do. Finger, wipe away the first drop of blood, massage 5 to 10 times. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it, and I'll probably edit all this out because you don't want to see me doing this. Wipe away the first bit of blood is the bit that is annoying. That was a proper fail because it kept going. I kept dripping like on the box rather than in the tube. So I was like having to like milk my finger for way longer than I wanted to, and this just looks like a bit of a crime scene. There's like blood splats everywhere. I'm gonna clean this tube up because I really did get it all over the outside, and then put the lid back on. Oh my god, there really is blood everywhere. I'm glad I took a picture of this box beforehand because it is a mess now. That took like 5 minutes. Now I need to invert it. I've labelled my sample and put it back into this tube like that. And then I think I pop it in here, pop this back in, and then post it, and then that's all done. So that was super easy. If you've got a fear of blood, I would recommend getting someone else to help you do it. It has been about, I want to say about a month since I last updated this vlog. Since then, I got my results back and I booked my consultation with one of their fertility experts. So I'm about to jump on my call now. I've got 3 minutes. I'm just gonna set this tripod up so you guys can have a little look, and then we can go through my results together once I've properly understood them.
I think when you test these things, you just want to know that actually both options are still available.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, fine. They definitely are, because you have very reassuring results.
Okay.
We're going to go through them one by one. So, the first hormone we tested is a hormone called your AMH. Now, this is given off by the tiny eggs in your ovaries that haven't grown yet, so it gives us an indication of your egg reserve. Have the more eggs you lose, so for that reason your AMH is based against other women your age.
Yeah.
And your result came back as absolutely fine.
Okay.
So your AMH is good. You have a very good quantity of eggs. It's not something we're concerned about at all.
Okay.
In terms of like time and opportunities, there's plenty of them.
Okay, that's good to know.
Okay.
I've got a question actually, and this might sound really stupid, but I was on the mini pill for 13 years and I didn't really have periods in that time. So does that mean that technically I should have way more eggs? Or like because I wasn't bleeding them out, or was I like, I don't know how that affects things.
No, it's completely logical, and we've asked the same questions.
Yeah.
But it turns out actually no, it doesn't make a difference, unfortunately.
Interesting.
Because even though you're not having a period, you're not ovulating, those follicles still would have been recruited every month, and then they just would have been reabsorbed and got rid of.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I've just finished my call. It was quite a short call, to be honest, because everything seems fine. My results have come back like completely normal, very healthy, in good ranges. And whilst that's a fantastic thing, I'm also a bit sad that some of my symptoms haven't been explained, but she has given very good advice on kind of next steps and things to test for, other things to test for, other things to do in order to try and get to the bottom of things. But I thought I'd show you my results and show you kind of what you can expect for it to look like. I would say my results took about 10 days to come through after they had received my blood test, and it's all very like easily laid out and it makes so much sense. So this is what it looks like. You've got loads of different stuff. So there's a note from the doctor about what you can expect in your results, and then you can go deep into your results. So there are like little tabs that say what they've tested for and where your results sit in the range of low, normal, and then too high. And also expand this to learn a little bit more about what exactly this thing that they've tested is. For example, my anti-Mullerian hormone is the most important part when you're looking at whether you have a good chance of conceiving, because this is the one that shows how good of a reserve your kind of eggs you've got left, basically. And mine, as you can see, is completely in the normal range for someone my age. So that's so comforting to know that chances of me getting pregnant and conceiving are quite high. And then it goes into all the hormones, and as you can see, all of my results are pretty much in the normal range. I have got nothing really out of range. Everything looks great. And so there's nothing really to worry about. I'm really glad I had that call with the consultant because she was so reassuring. I was able to like ask questions that I've always wondered about but never actually like known the answer to. She said my results are really reassuring. I've got a good quantity of eggs, so I have time and I have opportunity in the future to try to get pregnant if that is something that we decide we want. What I found quite interesting is she said whilst they can test how many eggs you've got, they can't test the quality of the eggs. That's something that just isn't able to be tested unless it's under a microscope with your eggs, which obviously you can go and get done. It's important to keep in mind that over time those eggs can decline with age. At my age now, at the age of 35, it should be good, but after this it kind of does start deteriorating. And I asked if that affects the chances of the baby having any problems or if it just affects conceiving and miscarriage, and she said it mainly, the quality of them just impacts conceiving and miscarriage, so not necessarily that the baby will have any problems, which I guess is kind of reassuring to know as well, because that was a concern of mine, how healthy your baby is going to be when it gets here, if that makes sense. But she said she doesn't think I've got polycystic ovary syndrome, which is quite different to just having polycystic ovaries, like cysts on your ovaries. She said my results don't show or indicate that I have that, which is really reassuring as well. But what I am confused about is just some of these symptoms that I've got, like my acne, my kind of low moods. I get night sweats in the night pretty much every night. So she was very helpful in being able to kind of tell me what I need to test going forward in order to get some like answers for those symptoms. So she said I should test my progesterone for acne. They don't test that at Hertility because you need to test it on day 21 of your cycle, so it's a little bit different time wise, but that kind of does make sense because the mini pill I was on was progesterone, and that was when my acne kind of started playing up. So it was definitely an increase of that hormone in my body led to me having acne, and maybe it just hasn't settled since. So I'm definitely going to look at getting that tested on day 21 of my cycle. She said I can actually get that checked at the GP, which is fantastic. And she also said the fatigue that I feel, it isn't because of my thyroid, like my thyroid results are absolutely fine. It indicates potentially low iron, which I have been diagnosed with before, so that makes so much sense. So basically I feel so calm now and kind of content in knowing that if we were to start trying for a baby, the chances are, from my side, everything looks healthy, everything looks fine, and it should be a kind of smooth sailing journey. After my chat, she sent me up a letter with some advice and things that we ran through, and it's also got loads of advice in there about what to do if we do want to start conceiving, how lifestyle changes and vitamins to add to increase my chances of getting pregnant, which I found super helpful because obviously that could maybe be on the cards in the future. So it's kind of nice to know from an expert what I need to do in order to like increase my chances, like the lifestyle changes that I can be in charge of, because obviously you can't really be in charge of your results or your hormones or what's going on inside. Yeah, I'm so glad I did this, because it's kind of not a question over my head anymore, and it's not a worry that my time is really running out. Like, I'm good for my age. Obviously the quality does decline with age, but now I know, and this year is the year to make that decision. So I really hope this video has helped some of you who are also thinking about going through this and having your hormones and fertility tested. I feel like this has been maybe really vulnerable for me to be so open and chat about so freely, but I really wanted to share my experience because I know that it will help some people maybe. And yeah, I guess 150 quid is a lot of money to spend on something like this, but I do feel like the results have been kind of worthwhile, at least for peace of mind for me. And if any of the results were out of the normal range, I'm sure they would have advice on if there was anything I could do to kind of help that. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments and I'll get back to you about those. If you have done Hertility, if you've done any other fertility tests, I'd love to know your experience if you feel able to share that. I'll keep you updated on this whole journey for us. I love you lots, guys. Bye.